show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
I'm Ron Bennington. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. I just found out watching ESPN this morning that they were calling that the game of the year. And I'm like, oh, I didn't notice since I was having such a bad time watching it.
Yes. If you have a horse in the race, it was a very uncomfortable game. I'm sure it was quite enjoyable for other people.
I will say this, the thing that really ruined the game for me, and if I ever have the opportunity, I will take off a glove and slap this gentleman across his face, is Mr. Tony Romo, the fucking meth head speed talker, just doesn't... Please play that a little louder when I'm talking. Thank you. I just want him to let the game play. I'm not saying even all the stupid things he says bothers me. It's how many of them and how quick, and we don't have a second.
He's building 7 narratives at a time, and the first 3 quarters he was edging, talking about Josh Allen. It was
a bit much. It was nonstop.
I know, but I went and checked Twitter, and the Bills fans felt just the opposite. Like, he manages to make both teams feel fucking bad about themselves. But Chris buried the lead there. This fucking idiot years ago predicted a play or two, right? I mean, it was almost just as he was still healthy enough to play, and Dax came in and he went, I quit. Dax is better than me. So he still had been, he had just been playing like the year or 2 years before. So he started predicting plays. And the fucking idiots out there applauded and said he was the best because he could say, I think it's going to be a post pattern. So now this motherfucker throws out every scenario he can. And there was, just hoping people will go, oh, Romo picked that. And he's speed talking. And there was one point where he was writing that it was going to go like through the 6 hole, right? While the play is taking place. You know what I mean? This has to stop.
Yeah.
Tony Romo has to be fucking stopped.
Why don't we just see what they're going to do? How about that?
Yeah.
He was driving my husband insane. Like, he was getting so furious with him.
I literally, the reason why I said, I go, at a certain point, I go, is this just me? Am I just so tense from this game? So I go to fucking Twitter. There wasn't a positive thing about him. Everybody was saying the same thing. Shut up. Just let the fucking game speak for itself.
Like, he was trending for the majority of the game over the game itself, over just discussion about the Eagles. Like, it was just Tony Romo was at the top of the conversation.
Because he takes the joy out of the game. If this guy was at your house, you would say, shut up, dude. We're watching the game. Let us watch the game.
I believe he's eclipsed Collinsworth as the worst person in the booth.
Oh, that's harsh.
Because
no. This isn't even close. Because Collinsworth says annoying things.
He does.
You know what I mean? And that's it. But this fucking guy says annoying things on a constant fucking basis. And when the Eagles finally score and, have a walk-off fucking touchdown, he's talking through it.
Yes.
We can't. Seconds before, when there was this a drop pass or was this a catch and fumble, he's talking so much like, oh my God, this is it. The Eagles will have lost the game. And if it's not, they're going to come back and win the game. Again, the amount of scenarios that have to take place. And can I tell you something for the people saying that Josh Allen is really good? He had a really fucking good game. This should be celebrated. It doesn't need to be overly fucking talked about.
Nonstop.
Just on a regular basis.
It's a psychotic stream of consciousness from a crazy person just yelling gibberish into a mic. Non-stop.
You've met those kind of people. You ever meet the kind of person who's looking at your mouth, hoping that you stop your saying and
yes.
then he can start, or he will be trying to finish your sentences? That's Tony Romo.
You heard that on the call last night. At one point, I can't remember what play. It might have been like a field goal or something. Romo was going a fucking mile a minute. And then as the kick was fucking getting kicked, he says, sorry, Jim. You make the call. Like, he can't stop himself.
He can't stop himself. This is not like he's a bad fucking commentator. There's something seriously wrong with him.
But
something very, very wrong.
You've given me perspective because I did not realize the motives there, that he had once gotten accolades for a couple calls and he's just chasing that dragon still.
Yeah. And I remember Johnny was like, oh my God, I love Romo. He called. Who cares? Who cares if he called the play? I'm just watching a game.
He's not on the field. Exactly. Who gives a shit? He's not coaching. He's just fucking talking about the goddamn game.
Now, the thing is, too, with the Eagles, I'll just say this. It's tough for people to love fucking Jalen Hurts because he doesn't give of himself, okay?
Mm-hmm. No.
He's slow, steady, and at the end of the game, you're like, oh, his numbers were a lot better than I thought. Or, God, he stayed very calm during that last drive, which was, the person that is easy to love, Tommy DeVito and his family, who have embraced stereotype Italian stuff so fucking far that he's doing the whatever this means.
Yeah.
Had a good piece of food.
It means, what do you mean? What are you talking about? The amount of Italian hand gestures, it's their own sign language that they use.
Gail, did you see his family doing it?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it out. They're. I don't know when big Italian guys have taken over cigars exclusively, but this looks like every cigar bar I've ever been in. Right there.
Ridiculous.
The entire family. They're loving this so much.
And by the way, all right, I know people are like, they're in the mafia. If they were in the mafia, you wouldn't like them. You would be afraid of them, and
Right.
this would be dangerous.
Right.
This is mafia cosplay. And right now I'm having so much fun with the kid. I don't know how long that's going to last until I'm like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Enough already.
Enough fucking sugar in my tea. You know what I mean? We got a prize to give away this morning, and it's a pretty fun one. We're about to enter Christmas movie season. As a matter of fact, we're doing Netflixmas this Thursday. You don't want to miss this one. It's called Best Christmas Ever, and I will just tell you this: the New York Post are calling it worst movie ever, which really.
Gail Bennington.
Your daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
I'm Ron Bennington. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. I just found out watching ESPN this morning that they were calling that the game of the year. And I'm like, oh, I didn't notice since I was having such a bad time watching it.
Yes. If you have a horse in the race, it was a very uncomfortable game. I'm sure it was quite enjoyable for other people.
I will say this, the thing that really ruined the game for me, and if I ever have the opportunity, I will take off a glove and slap this gentleman across his face, is Mr. Tony Romo, the fucking meth head speed talker, just doesn't... Please play that a little louder when I'm talking. Thank you. I just want him to let the game play. I'm not saying even all the stupid things he says bothers me. It's how many of them and how quick, and we don't have a second.
He's building 7 narratives at a time, and the first 3 quarters he was edging, talking about Josh Allen. It was,
That was a bit
constant.
much. It was nonstop.
I know, but I went and checked Twitter, and the Bills fans felt just the opposite. Like, he manages to make both teams feel fucking bad about themselves. But Chris buried the lead there. This fucking idiot years ago predicted a play or two, right? I mean, it was almost just as he was still healthy enough to play, and Dax came in and he went, I quit. Dax is better than me. So he still had been, he had just been playing like the year or 2 years before. So he started predicting plays. And the fucking idiots out there applauded and said he was the best because he could say, I think it's going to be a post pattern. So now this motherfucker throws out every scenario he can And there was, just hoping people will go, oh, Romo picked that. And he's speed talking. And there was one point where he was writing that it was going to go like through the 6 hole, right? While the play is taking place. You know what I mean? This has to stop.
Yeah.
Tony Romo has to be fucking stopped.
Why don't we just see what they're going to do? How about that?
Yeah.
He was driving my husband insane. Like, he was getting so furious with him.
I literally, the reason why I said, I go, at a certain point, I go, is this me? Am I just so tense from this game? So I go to fucking Twitter. There wasn't a positive thing about him. Everybody was saying the same thing. Shut up. Just let the fucking game speak for itself.
Like, he was trending for the majority of the game over the game itself, over just discussion about the Eagles. Like, it was just Tony Romo was at the top of the conversation.
Because he takes the joy out of the game. If this guy was at your house, you would say, shut up, dude. We're watching the game. Let us watch the game.
I believe he's eclipsed Collinsworth as the worst person in the booth.
Oh, that's harsh.
Because
no. This isn't even close. Because Collinsworth says annoying things.
He does.
You know what I mean? And that's it. But this fucking guy says annoying things on a constant fucking basis. And when the Eagles finally score and, have a walk-off fucking touchdown, he's talking through it.
Yes.
We can't. Seconds before, when there was this a drop pass or was this a catch and fumble, he's talking so much like, oh my God, this is it. The Eagles will have lost the game. And if it's not, they're going to come back and win the game. Again, the amount of scenarios that have to take place. And can I tell you something for the people saying that Josh Allen is really good? He had a really fucking good game. This should be celebrated. It doesn't need to be overly fucking talked about.
Nonstop.
Just on a regular basis.
It's a psychotic stream of consciousness from a crazy person just yelling gibberish into a mic. Non-stop.
You've met those kind of people. You ever meet the kind of person who's looking at your mouth, hoping that you stop your saying and
Yes.
then he can start, or he will be trying to finish your sentences? That's Tony Romo.
You heard that on the call last night. At one point, I can't remember what play. It might have been like a field goal or something. Romo was going a fucking mile a minute. And then as the kick was fucking getting kicked, he says, sorry, Jim, you make the call. Like, he can't stop himself.
He can't stop himself. This is not like he's a bad fucking commentator. There's something seriously wrong with him.
But
Something very, very wrong.
you've given me perspective, because I did not realize the motives there, that he had once gotten accolades for a couple calls, and he's just
He did.
chasing that dragon still.
Yeah. And I remember Johnny was like, oh my God, I love Romo. He called. Who cares? Who cares if he called the play? I'm just watching a game.
He's not on the field. Exactly. Who gives a shit? He's not coaching. He's just fucking talking about the goddamn game.
Now, the thing is, too, with the Eagles, I'll just say this. It's tough for people to love fucking Jalen Hurts because he doesn't give of himself, okay?
Mm-hmm. No.
He's slow, steady, and at the end of the game, you're like, oh, his numbers were a lot better than I thought. Or, God, he stayed very calm during that last drive, which was, the person that is easy to love, Tommy DeVito and his family, who have embraced stereotype Italian stuff so fucking far that he's doing the whatever this means. Had a good piece of food.
It means, what do you mean? What are you talking about? The amount of Italian hand gestures, it's their own sign language that they use.
Gail, did you see his family doing it? They're
did.
doing it out. They're. I don't know when big Italian guys have taken over cigars exclusively, but this looks like every cigar bar I've ever been in. Right there.
Ridiculous.
The entire family. They're loving this so much.
And by the way, all right, I know people are like, they're in the mafia. If they were in the mafia, you wouldn't like them. You would be afraid of them, and this
Right.
would be dangerous.
Right.
This is mafia cosplay. And right now I'm having so much fun with the kid. I don't know how long that's going to last until I'm like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Enough already.
Enough fucking sugar in my tea. You know what I mean? We got a prize to give away this morning, and it's a pretty fun one. We're about to enter Christmas movie season. As a matter of fact, we're doing Netflixmas this Thursday. You don't want to miss this one. It's called Best Christmas Ever, and I will just tell you this: the New York Post are calling it Worst Movie Ever, which really made me laugh because I went into it dark. Yeah. I wish I would have known I was going in to see the worst movie ever made.
I know, and if you have that information, you're going to enjoy it on that level. So I would say do your homework and watch Best Christmas Ever. That's going to be Thursday at 1 p.m., and we're going to have some of our favorite guests, Amy Miller, Mark Zito, and Danny Kashmir.
They're all great. They're all great Netflixmas people. Now, we got a cool prize to give away. It's a Christmas movie that children likes, Gremlins, and it's signed by Howie Mandel, who's always been a great friend of the show, great friend to us, always a lot of fun. And he was the one who did the voices, right? Of the
yes, he's the voice of Gizmo.
Gizmo signed this.
Yes, this is signed by Gizmo.
Now, Gizmo was such a big thing when it came out, too. Like, I mean, it sold as a toy. People went crazy for it. There was a Gremlins 2. It was one of those things where people were just like, more Gremlins, please. Now, I don't know. I think if I was a little kid, I would be scared because of the scary Gremlins.
Yes, and they were scary to me as a child. They were really, really creepy, but it is a fun movie. And it's funny because my daughters found, like, in my mother-in-law's house, like, an old Gremlins toy. And they were like, what is this? What is this from? So we have been explaining the premise of the movie, but trying to explain to them, like, you might find it scary. So we may or may not have a first viewing of Gremlins. It's undecided right now.
That's exciting.
Because I think that they can handle it, but I think they're going to be shocked once the turn happens.
All right. First of all, Juju has too much imagination. She has too much empathy for most things. And then her little sister, Frankie, just looks to Juju for every signpost in life on how to act. Yeah. All right. 844 Rock God. That's 844-762-5463. It's a great stocking stuffer to give to somebody in your family. Gremlins, signed by Gizmo, Howie Mandel. That's 844 Rock God, 844-762-5463. And this is movies only. It's not a special. There's no Charlie Brown in this one.
Right. That's different.
This is, I would accept the Hallmark movies, even though I won't know them. Netflix movie could go into this. But I want to, like, a movie that you have to watch at Christmas. Like, everybody in the family was like, it's Christmas, put on Goodfellas, and that's because that scene where they go over the top buying Christmas presents like Tommy DeVito's family.
That's the Christmas they're having this year.
Doesn't he actually say it's going to be a great Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is just hilarious for a gangster to talk about. Yeah. And I want to check later with this, Earl, because I'm with Earl. I'm always curious, like, what is the big black Christmas movie?
Right.
I'm trying to learn more about other cultures on a regular.
That's so cool of you.
Yeah. Well, I want to know what jokes to do about them. You know what I mean? Like,
that shouldn't be the motivator.
I just say this: every ethnic group should have the attitude of Tommy DeVito's family. You know what I mean? And if there's a stereotype for you folks, not just embrace it, take it to next level. You know? Mm-hmm. By the way, Chris, congratulations on lockdown this week. You went in on Thanksgiving. Yeah. You went in over the weekend. You were just a monster out there.
It's a bad monster. 5-11 over 16 picks. It's lockdown is sad this Black weekend.
Hey, dude, easy with that.
Oh, sorry. Not good. Not good in lockdown. It's bad. All right. I'm under 500 on the season now. I need to dig myself out.
You're also under 500 on your weight, so you should be celebrating.
Oh, that's good for you.
Working on that though to get back.
Yeah, but let's see what happens after Christmas, because this is the eating time of the year, and it's the brown liquor time of the year, and it's movie time of the year. I mean, I'm not getting off the couch for a while.
No reason
to. Let's go over to Jeff in Indiana. Jeff, best Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah, I'm just going to start off with the top dog, and it's a new favorite, and I'm 50. I'm going to have to say Elf to kick it off.
You know what's really funny about that? Because it does get thrown as it's 20 years old this year.
What?
Oh, that's really funny. It does still feel new to me.
You know why? Because the timeline has sped up ever since we've had artificial intelligence. Somebody has hit a fast forward, and we're moving through time like never before.
I hate it.
I just saw, I don't know whether it was TikTok or the Instagram Reels, but a scene that was deleted from Elf where Will, the giant elf, I think his name is Will Ferrell, the giant elf, was playing hockey against the other elves, and he's just laying elves out, one after another. And, you know, a lot of times you go see a deleted scene and you're like, they should use that. But nobody likes Goliath. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the funny thing about him is he was too big to be an elf. He couldn't do the elf things. Right. Not he could physically dominate every elf.
That's dark.
Yeah. But you're an elf fan, Gail?
Yeah, it's a cute one. But it's interesting how it has become like an instant classic. Like right away, people embraced Elf.
You know why? One of the reasons is because the way they shot it like those early Rudolph specials with the, I forget what that's called, where you set up the dolls to move it. Yes,
stop
Chris.
motion?
Stop motion. Thank you, Chris. Oh, Gail took that from you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Chris. Daniel in Kansas, best Christmas movie ever.
I'd have to say National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
It is probably the second best of all the National Lampoon Chevy Chase things.
I agree.
But it's nowhere near the original Vacation. You know what I mean?
Isn't that weird? Like, it's still really great and really watchable and fun to watch on Christmas, but you're right. The original Vacation, it's like miles above.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the original Vacation is like the Godfather of the vacation movies. This one is kind of like one of those Al Capone movies that didn't quite, 100% land. I'm willing to say there's never been a good Al Capone movie. And yeah, I'm very familiar with the Kevin Costner. But what they did with history, I won't let stand.
Thank you, Ron.
Matthew in Toronto.
Bennington's.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is a Christmas movie. It's kind of outside of the box, but it's something that me and my family watch every year. It's a movie called Beat Street.
Beat?
I have no recollection. What is Beach Street about?
So it's a 1980s, early 80s breakdance movie, but it's set in the winter. And about halfway through it, they do this great Christmas showdown, almost like a rap battle. Dougie Fresh is there, and they do a bit about Christmas and how hard it is in the projects.
I don't know this movie. It sounds fantastic. I mean,
wanna watch Beat
how are you going to go wrong with Dougie Fresh and break dancing? But I'll just say it, you're a long shot, just because none of the judges have seen this.
Not one.
James in Strong Island, what do you have for us?
Hey, Benningtons, love you guys. How you doing?
Good.
I'm going with a favorite of everybody is Die Hard.
Now,
The perennial.
Die Hard, yeah. People debate the fact of whether it is a Christmas movie or not, because it takes place at Christmas time. but is not exactly about the Christmas spirit itself. It is a miracle that one guy, with no shoes on could take on all these terrorists. I don't see how he could do that without having the Holy Spirit behind him.
I know.
The entire time.
With all that glass in his feet?
Yeah. And the Black Angel who's in it, playing a policeman who had shot an unarmed boy before in cold blood, finding some redemption for himself seems like a Christmas miracle.
Now, here, I'm going to say that what the debate, is it a Christmas movie or not? I feel like I enjoy a kind of Christmas adjacent movie where it's like it's happening in the story, because there's so many movies that are about Christmas. It's nice to just go like it's part of the story, but it's not about Santa. It's not about like the family coming over for the big Christmas dinner. Like, I think it's nice to have it. So I enjoy watching Die Hard around Christmas, and I would agree with that. I would say,
yeah. Unlike most people, I have a favorite line in this movie, which is "Yippee-I-K, motherfucker." Yeah.
Wow,
that's the way I say it. Now, here's the thing. I keep saying Bruce Willis stuff on social media that his daughters will put out. Breaks my heart.
Oh my God. There was one from over the weekend. I think Ezra tweeted it to us, and it was just his daughter, and he like reaches out and holds her hand, but he's looking very like distant, but she's comforted that he at least took her hand. It just crushes me. That's so goddamn sad.
I know, because he was so quick, so fun, so great in every way. Also, I saw one where he was having fun blowing bubbles with his family. Another one where they were all singing happy birthday together. I just want him to feel good.
Yeah.
I love that dude. Let's go over to Mike in North Carolina. Mike.
Hey, guys. I love the show.
Thanks.
I have a kind of a special connection to the movie The Green Book because my father owned a African-American hotel. But I think it ended with a Christmas scene. So I think...
Oh, yeah. They all get together. He had to teach this concert pianist not just about R&B, but he also had to teach him about the joy of Christmas. I mean, when it ended and they said, come on in, sit at this table with us. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he said, I never did this before. And they said, you never had a chair at the table? And he went, I never had a table. Oh wait, I'm confusing it with Blindside. Anyway, I know it's a movie that Earl and I enjoy because I like to put him in the back seat and drive him around and protect him from the South. And by the way, the family who produced this, right, who told the story about their dad and all, they are Tommy DeVito's family 100%. They won the Oscar and then had to take on everybody, tell them that their movie stunk. But here's the thing: if you watch, who's the guy who stars in it? He's really fucking great. Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, he's fucking great. The movie's a lot of fun to watch. You enjoy somebody teaching a concert pianist how to eat fried chicken with their hands. He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Vito did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to Mark in Missouri. Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Hey.
Good. So the first year my wife and I were married, which was about 18 years ago, we were dirt poor, living in this crappy little house. And I remember on Christmas Eve, my wife's in the bedroom wrapping the presents for me. I'm sitting down at the sad, cheap presents I had for her. I turned the TV and White Christmas was on. And I sit there and watch that entire movie while I wrap presents, and it made me feel so great and so good. That is my tradition every year now. For some reason, that movie just makes me feel better and makes it feel like Christmas.
Now, first of all, that's adorable, and I'm glad to hear it. But any little thing that you take in life. But do you know that that's not the first movie that White Christmas was in? The song White Christmas shows up. It's in another Bing Crosby movie, right?
Oh, really?
And it's about, it's something holiday. I can't think of the whole fucking thing. But they return from World War II, and there's a general who has like a hotel in Vermont, right? I don't know. He's going out of business or whatever. So for some reason, they all the old gang, all the old paratroopers who ever go up, and they save Christmas, literally like a Netflix movie, right? It's so stupid. But then at the end they just sing White Christmas, right? And it's not that big of a deal in the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then that song got so big. Now, all right, I just found out the movie was called Holiday Inn. And this is what I always wondered. Did that title come before the Holiday Inn chain?
Oh.
And the Holiday Inn chain was like, oh, shit. We ought to open up a bunch of, like, not a good inn, but a smaller inn that the doors open directly into the parking lot. And it's easy to get robbed or raped there.
I just did some research. So Holiday Inn, the film, came out in 1942. Holiday Inn, the hotel chain, founded in 1952. I'm looking to see.
Okay.
So when they showed up, they were like, oh, like the movie. People.
All right. Now, this is also weird. Why would these guys be out of the war in 1942, middle of the war?
Get back to work.
I gotta watch this movie. Andre in New York.
What's going on, Ron?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, since Earl won't tell you, I have a black movie to give you. It's called This Christmas. It stars Regina King, Delroy Lindo, Idris Elba, Chris Brown. I watch it every year.
First of all, it's an all-star cast.
Yeah.
I know the song, which I get. Did it come from the movie?
This Christmas, I gave you my heart.
No, not that one. This Christmas. I don't know which one came first, if it came out with the movie, but it's a popular.
Now, Earl, you got to watch that this year because I'd like you to have at least one Black Christmas you could enjoy.
Yeah, this sounds like, any movie with Delroy Lindo, and it's got to be great. It's got to be amazing.
Right, but how did you not see this?
I'm not a big Christmas movie guy, particularly, but I do love Black Christmas movies.
Now, do you feel like, first of all, then you would have named one. Now, the other thing is what is your problem with Christmas? The birth of Christ?
I love the birth of Christ. I just thought that. Who doesn't love Jesus? But
I don't know why you say you don't like Christmas movies.
Plenty of people.
But Christmas.
All the Muslims don't love Jesus. All the Jews. Plenty of people don't love Jesus.
Atheists.
Earl, yeah, you're a minority. I don't know whether you looked out into the streets of New York. There's a lot of people chanting, and it's nothing to do with Jesus. Let's go to Steve. Steve, what do you got for us, buddy?
Christmas Story.
It doesn't get old. It's like it's still comforting to put it on.
It's funny. They tried the later in life Christmas Story, and I never even looked at it.
I watched it.
No.
I would say you made the
love
right
it?
choice. No, you made the right choice. You can't go back,
I guess Don Henley told us that in The Boys of Summer. We didn't listen, though. We fucking refused to listen. Let's go to Generation Z. The man who, one of the reasons why we're struggling right now, we are putting so much emphasis into Jazzington that'll be happening on Friday. My social media thing, I had a funny meme set up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, we didn't do all the meme stuff, to make it a meme. Jazzington is on our minds.
Yeah, we got you.
I don't know what we're doing with this. Is it going to be 2 hours of a jazz guitar solo?
We're still in the works, but it won't be a full 2 hours of jazz.
Not a full 2 hours.
Do you know what you're doing in Jazzington?
Yeah, we've got two definite things that we got going on.
Let me just ask this. Is one of them Beck's Bolero? Because I feel like that would be perfect for all of us. I just happened to catch that on Deep Tracks the other day. It's the greatest fucking thing in the entire world.
I cannot
confirm. And was
it
this year Jeff Beck died?
Yes.
Was that this year? Jeez. Time Time doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Time takes a cigarette, puts it in your mouth.
I was thinking for a Christmas movie, Polar Express, because nothing says Christmas like trains.
Here's the thing. I've never seen it. I know the commercial. The commercial played constantly with the all on board, the Polar Express. But the way Tom Hanks looked was frightening to me. And I'm like, I don't need this.
I read the book as a child, and then I never saw the movie because I saw the trailer, and the uncanny valley, as it's known, really disturbed me. The way that the like CGI of the faces, it just looked really creepy to me. But I do think a certain generation does really love that movie.
Yeah, you got to, most Christmas movie, you got to be the right age.
Right.
To make it that thing. Tom in Brooklyn.
Bennington's $1 Million.
Hey, thanks.
Let's go back to Scrooge, the 1988 classic with Bill Murray.
Love it. It's just
That's
love it.
one. Yeah, that's one that you watch every year, Gail.
Every year I watch it, and every year I have traditions that are related to it, not just watching the movie. First of all, every year Birdie gets a bone for Christmas, and I take a picture because it's a bone, you lucky dog. We have to say it every year. And now I have my own Frankie Angel.
Mitch Glazer was one of the writers of Scrooged, right? And Mitch is just, there's something about him. He's just one of my favorite people of all time. He's a writer, but he's also everywhere. I mean, he's like everywhere. And, he's married to a movie star. He's buddies with Bill Murray. The whole list goes on. But he came in and we started talking about Scrooged. And it was embarrassing because Fez knew more about Scrooged than any of the people who... And we forgot. We were like, I watched a movie. I rewatched a movie and I really like it and I rewatched it again. But Fez would watch something that he liked hundreds of times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that was like a real comfort space for him where he was like, I know what I'm going to see and I'm going to like it.
He wouldn't know movies except for the movies that he knew. And then he was like a porn addict where he wouldn't leave the fucking house. But that was a lot of fun. Like, just seeing Mitch, like, yeah, that's right. I forgot that scene. You know what I mean?
Right.
The guy who wrote the fucking movie.
Meanwhile, we could recite it.
Yeah. Rachel in Oklahoma City.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi. The best movie for my family, and I've passed on to my kids and nieces and nephews, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Now, are you talking about the cartoon or the Jim Carrey one?
The cartoon, the original.
Okay, I'm going to have to disqualify you. We are not doing what we call the Christmas specials.
Yeah, that is under the category of special, for sure.
Yeah.
But the Jim Carrey, a movie.
Yeah. Now, the Jim Carrey, we would have let you in, but I guarantee you would have not won. Because
the
it's
only
not
film
good.
I've ever walked out of.
Did you really?
You walked out?
But also, like, my buddy was sitting next to me, and he'd eaten a bunch of ecstasy and drank a bunch of vodka in preparation to go see it. And he started vomiting.
Why was that a preparation to see?
And then why wouldn't you
The
bring up, one time my friend threw up so much we had to leave the theater. And
Yeah, that's not really like
You-
a walkout. That sounds like you
Yeah.
hated it so much. Not that you guys have an addiction problem.
He did.
You would be a very bad movie critic, Chris. Jeremy in Washington.
Hello, Benningtons.
Hey.
So mine is not a typical choice. It's another Shane Black movie like Die Hard, but it's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Are you guys familiar?
First of all, I love the movie.
It's a great
I
movie.
love it. There is like one logic problem for me is that he's so much older than the girl that he grew up with. And that always bothers me. But yeah, there's something about, Shane Black. He's never nominated for anything, but he is very easy to watch his films.
Yeah. very like entertaining movies.
And this, I mean, first of all, Downey, I consider this Downey's comeback movie. I consider this movie the reason why he got Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you couldn't have pulled off what he did in this movie, dialogue-wise, and still been a fucking drug addict. But Val Kilmer steals the fucking movie. Val Kilmer's so good in this.
So good. I'm going to have to rewatch this movie. It's been a while.
Please do. Please rewatch it tonight. All right, this is Shane Black. He's written Lethal Weapon, Last Boy Scout, Last Action Hero, The Long Kiss Goodnight, which I also love. But a lot of people confuse him and say that he also wrote Die Hard. He did not. But remember, Lethal Weapon also takes place at Christmas.
That's
and
true.
Do people argue about that? No. I don't know why, but they don't.
Shane Black could be the king of Christmas adjacent movies. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know if he wants that category. I mean, first of all, I just made it up. I mean, I just said the term just minutes ago. I don't know how much of an honor he's going to find that.
He's going to love it.
We should do a thing like a meme of Christmas adjacent movies, right? Doing the list, but we'll forget to make it a meme, and then we'll just leave it sitting there. And people are going to go, "What?"
Can I give you a favorite of mine? And I realize this is also a Christmas adjacent, but I love to watch it around Christmas. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, because I love, first of all, just like Jesse said, the train. I don't know. There's something about the train. It feels Christmassy. They're like going to Hogwarts. They got all their little sweets. And then in all the movies, always there's like a Christmas scene in it.
Every film,
But in the first one, it's like he gets to experience Christmas for the first time. He gets gifts for the first time. The Weasleys give him a sweater. It's so sweet. And he like actually understands like the meaning of family and friends.
I didn't even have a bed.
That really is like Harry Potter.
It really
He's
is.
really a magical blindside, if you want to think of it that way.
Wasn't Blindside already a magical blindside? It was, and the greatest gift of all is White Lady Love. Stanley, you put that just so sad picture of your dad holding a cat over a turkey at Thanksgiving, which people really took to. You know what I mean?
Look,
it explains a lot about you.
That was my home. That was in my Astoria home, and that was 1980 Astoria. Fucking John Stanley rocking that cat.
They did nothing to that home ever.
Not one single thing. You're absolutely correct. Nothing ever went on the walls. And I believe that cat's name was Tiger. And we had another cat, I was told this, named Blackie, a black cat. And looking back on
name.
I think my dad might have been a racist.
It took that for you to realize that your dad was a racist?
Well, I knew he didn't like certain people, but I don't know.
Like who?
He had this is my father, John Stanley, since deceased, really disliked Jewish people, and it was kind of weird.
That's really, plays well now these days where it's okay, right?
What?
It's
No.
okay now.
Not okay. It's terrible.
Wayne in Maryland.
Bennington, hey buddies. I'm going with Fred Claus. Great movie. I love the family intervention scene, the Angry Brothers therapy session.
This is going to surprise
Paul
you.
Giamatti as Santa.
I've never seen Fred Claus because I love Vince Vaughn, and when I saw that trailer, I'm like, "What have they done to you, Vince?"
I actually, the first time I saw that trailer, I said aloud to myself, I was alone, and I still remember it. Aloud, I said, I will never watch that movie. And I've stuck with it. I've just stuck with it. I felt like there must have been some reason that came out of my mouth, and I've just honored my initial knee-jerk reaction. Something about it just was off to me, and I didn't think I would enjoy it.
Mine, and I do this every year, is I think this is from the 1930s. Humphrey Bogart, "We're No Angels," and the reason is it is a Christmas movie, but I mean it's on Devil's Island, and they're all French supposedly, and it's funny and it's weirdly sweet, even though a man is murdered.
Right.
Aldo Ray is unbelievable. Peter Ustinov. But I have an older brother, and he's, was much older than me, and I used to just really love to spend time with him. And then he said, "Hey, you should watch this movie with me tonight." I was a little kid. "It's up late. Can you stay up late?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can stay up late." And we were watching the movie and enjoying it. But I was also watching my brother watch the movie. And I'm like, you see the way Frankie looks at Juju, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you, does Juju even get it? You know
I don't
what mean?
think, no, I see
No.
what you're saying. She's doing her own thing, and then Frankie is just admiring
We're doing
her.
this.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're doing it together.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons I think I love that movie. It brings back that feeling every year,
Oh, that's so sweet.
And, I mean, I feel like if I made a Netflix movie, best Christmas ever, it would be about that.
Aw, that
That's
would be so sweet. You think you'd have the same all-star cast? Heather Graham,
Yeah.
Brandy, Jason Biggs?
Yeah, I would. I would use them for anything. They're the best.
Brandy's husband, also a good actor too, the Karate Man.
I don't know him. I don't know his work.
No.
Neither do I.
I mean, it made sense to me and Gail because we've, seen the movie, but I can't imagine one listener getting your sarcasm right now.
they probably haven't seen it yet. You know what? Watch the movie and then you'll understand what Chris means when he says that. That's Chris
Dave in
Deborah.
California.
Ronnie B, happy Merry Christmas, you guys.
Happy
Hey,
Merry
check it out.
Christmas. It's
The
a long
movie-
way off, but it started. Yeah.
It started. The movie that I'm thinking about is the one where there's some scenes in it that actually hurts, where the nail goes into the guy's foot, the guy's head's literally burned. Home
Yeah.
Alone. I don't know if they'd let that go today.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, first of all, the parents would be arrested for Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's also with the invention. Well, I was going to say with the invention of cell phones, it just wouldn't happen because they would just contact him immediately. But then, even in the actual day that it happened, I don't know why a neighbor or police weren't contacted when she realized she had a very small boy home alone.
I think for comedic purposes, to not stop the action of the movie is probably why they didn't call. But also the Wet Bandits would probably have a lawsuit against that family. I mean,
Right.
they
Good
went
lawyer.
too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. God, when I was a kid, I loved that movie so much. I can remember watching that movie in the theater, laughing so hard, and my grandmother was with me, and she had to run out of the theater because she almost peed herself. That's how hard my grandmother was laughing as hard as I was.
Your grandmother pees herself a lot.
She can. You can't be too funny around her if you're not
yeah.
close to a bathroom.
Now, that little boy in that movie, I think his name was Spanky McFarlane. When that movie came out, he was literally the biggest star in America.
Yeah.
After that movie came out, he got Saturday Night Live. He got a 3-picture deal. His parents just started robbing him. I mean, his whole fucking life was great. And now, if you see him talk about it, he's like, that was a weird thing to happen to a little kid. And you guys are weird for doing it to me. America.
It was pretty messed up what you did to a small child.
Why'd you put me on this pedestal?
I'll tell you why. Talent. Talent. Brad in Florida. Brad.
Hey, Benningtons, love you as always. I will waive my my prize-winning capabilities because I've already got a lovely signed Richard I'm having a brain
Richard
freeze.
Brooks.
Anyway,
Richard
the
Brooks.
movie is
Yeah.
the original Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah. Now, weirdly enough, it is about the original. You'd think you wouldn't want to watch it in black and white, and all. You think you wouldn't want to watch a movie where literally there's thousands upon thousands of people in this movie, and they're all dead now. I mean, that seems sad, you know?
So the original was in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
And then when did the next one come out?
They came out 60s, 70s. There's been so many remakes. Just, you know, because it's easy to do. You know, sometimes they do it with adults, a little thing. It was Natalie Wood, I believe, was the little girl in the first one.
Yeah, she was.
And her death was quite a national tragedy.
Oh, my God.
As they said, there's one kind of wood that doesn't float.
Oh.
Natalie Wood.
Too soon.
It literally was the next day. And then some people think that Christopher Walken was involved.
At the very least, some people think he was a witness, too. Like, he has the answer to what happened.
What was her husband's name? Robert or Richard or... you know, he was in Heart to Heart.
Robert Wagner.
Thank you, Earl. Robert Wagner. Most people think that there was jealousy between Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken.
I know I'm going to say something a little crazy here, but Natalie Wood, an attractive woman.
Unbelievably beautiful.
I mean, this is, I know it's a little weird to say, but that is a lovely looking lady.
Can I tell you what? First of all, she was unbelievably beautiful. She was kind of a mixed race thing when that wasn't even a thing, right? And fragile. She was so very, very
delicate.
fragile. So the kind of man that wants to take care of a fragile little thing, you know.
Chris, is her face tiny enough for you? Because I feel like she is a tiny-faced person.
All right, so it's too long. I mean, I love Natalie Wood, but it's not tiny enough.
I'm always just trying to figure out your tiny face fetish.
First of all, to say I love butt means that you don't love. You know what I mean? It means that you could understand the attraction, but you don't love her, Chris.
You're right. Ron, you've called me out.
James Dean loved her. Sal Mineo loved her.
And they love
the great
proportions.
Warren Beatty loved her.
They love the proportions of her face.
Me and them don't got that same small face kink. I mean, I get it.
There's nothing wrong with a small face. Don't act like it's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Small face
you know
is
what?
fine.
I would actually think it was stranger if you're like, I have a big face fetish. That would be
Right.
something to report. Just a big old face on her.
He likes a face like an African shield. You know what I mean? Just like, that thing is really like 5 foot long and it's all face. I do like this, though. I like a face that is like one of those monkey coconuts that they make. You know what I mean? Because it looks like Mick Jagger.
That's cool.
Here's our friend Frank in the Bronx. Frank.
Yeah, what's up? Happy belated Thanksgiving. Chris doesn't like small faces. He likes small boys. Anyway.
Chris.
Oh, I don't listen to Frank.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You'll deny it to the end. I hear you. Okay,
Because it's not true.
He is denying it. Frank's right. He's denying it.
Just like Frank said he would.
No.
One thing I have to say is Christmas in Hollis, Run DMC, great song, maybe the Christmas song of the year. And then the movie that got me into trading oil and commodities is Trading Places, when the Duke brothers had a bet, and it was Philadelphia during Christmas. That's a Christmas movie, Trading Places.
It's very much a Christmas movie. Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, she's unbelievably beautiful. Dan Aykroyd. She says she wished she hadn't shown her breast, and I'm like, you should be glad that there's that picture of your breast,
right?
Because,
cherish it.
Cherish is the word we use to. Now, here's the thing. I believe in my heart that may be the best Eddie Murphy movie. I thought he was so fucking funny in Trading Places. Yet people bring up Coming to America as if there's anything interesting about that movie.
Yeah, that is true. That's the one that people claim to be the best.
And in Trading Places, he makes the incredible thing, Karate Man bleeds on the inside. You know what I mean? And those kind of people in Philadelphia, the Duke brothers, they don't exist in Philadelphia. I don't know anyone, even rich, that would talk like that. Kevin in Long Island.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure if this is Thanksgiving or Christmas. I thought it was Christmas. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Well, first of all, it is 100% a Thanksgiving movie. It literally ends at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to
Second,
get
it's
home
a
to.
terrible movie, and there's not a single laugh in the entire thing. When I saw that movie, I go, I think The Mess Around is going to come back and be a #1 hit on Billboard.
You called that?
Yeah, it didn't happen, but it should have, because that song's fucking great. We're doing The Mess Around. You know what's #1 on Billboard now? Kelsey Brothers.
Oh, my God.
How?
How would that get to #1 and why?
They claim a lot of Taylor Swift's family and friends are helping out.
This sounds like Russian and Chinese bots streaming. It's in a warehouse somewhere.
Why would they have to be in a warehouse?
I don't know where you're going to fit all those phones.
Are you
How
suggesting
about
they're physical
separately?
bots?
How about separately, like all phones are done now?
Oh, there's bot farms, dudes. There's fucking
There
bot
are?
farms with like
So they're physical
warehouses
bots.
filled with cell phones and laptops just streaming things. It's fucking weird.
But can you believe that Philly went to #1 and New York never did?
No,
You
it
know what I
just
mean?
makes me so mad. And they've really, the Kelseys have pushed it for me.
I'm gonna puke.
Not me.
They pushed it.
Do you prefer Jason Kelsey or Travis?
Jason.
Travis.
What is it you like about Travis?
He's hot. I like his old tweets.
Really? Was he considered one of the most handsome men of the year, the most beautiful man alive, or sexiest man alive?
You're right. He's a monster of a man.
Now, in Fairy Tale of Philadelphia, there's a kind of an out thing where Jason Kelsey ends up crying. He was so moved by the song.
Oh, my God.
And the Pogues.
By his own singing?
Yeah, but doing this with his brother, by the help that they're giving to the unfortunate with this, unlike the Pogues, who fucking pocketed every last dime of it.
They wrote the song. It wasn't supposed to be a charity song.
Can I tell you? They're all dirtbags and phony jabronis.
They needed that money for dental work, and you know it.
He
And
never
liquor.
got it done to this day.
I thought he did get them fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up with those fucking ham and eggs. Why don't they just have some ham and eggs?
I'm
It's
sure
delicious.
they do.
I'll say this. Those brothers are going into the Football Hall of Fame.
They both
They
are,
are.
probably.
And hopefully they'll be going in with Tommy DeVito, who is such a good
Ew.
quarterback. He's actually got his name from a character in Goodfellas, the Joe Pesci character.
His family did a great job there.
I'll tell you this, I am fucking concerned right now about Bruce and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Can he get better is my fucking thing, and they keep saying no, but could we have like some kind of miracle drug like we did with the vaccine?
What about Christmas Miracle? Is that possible?
I don't think there's ever been one since the first Christmas miracle.
That's true.
The drug that Vivek made all his money off of that turned out to be bullshit was supposed to be a drug to help dementia. So that guy can't help.
What's
How did he
Vivek?
get the fucking cash in?
Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy?
He says the wrong thing all the time.
Okay. I thought it was like a company.
Also, doesn't Chris look like the third Kelsey brother? No
He
one ever
does.
fucking mentions that.
Yeah.
If one of the brothers was bad at gambling.
It's so bad.
Chris, I was watching College Game Day. They got a guy who picks and they keep it. His thing, he's had 10 wins and 20 losses. And I'm like, and I fucking say to the TV, no one can win. You know what I mean?
Right.
The mud that Chris is in is every gambler.
we're all in the mud together. And that I know that guy because I don't watch College Game Day, but I see people shitting on him every single week about all his dumb losses. He's terrible. He's worse than me.
It's really
I'm throwing it
hard.
out there.
You know what? It's easy if you don't have to, if you're just betting off the game. But you put that line in and forget about it.
Yeah.
Look, Vegas is very good at what they do, making these goddamn scumbag lines.
Also, you want to hear something crazy? The Macy's parade this year had the biggest TV audience in history.
That is so interesting. That is so interesting that this is their best rated Thanksgiving parade ever. Well, I wonder why. Like, what was the reason?
2 reasons. Number one, this movie, I think Leo, I think that's the name of it.
Mhm.
They got a float.
Okay.
But the second, I think people just needed something that looked simple and old. You know what I mean? They just wanted to wake up in the morning and not look at the news, not look at the
Right.
horror that takes place.
That's a good point. It's maybe just something we needed. Just some old timey tradition stuff.
Now, I saw a thing where Jerry Jones over the break said that he was going to put Jimmy Johnson in the Hall of Fame, and everybody was all excited about it. But it's just Jerry deciding. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something that you earned. It'd be like if you found out that I put up a picture of you in my office. That's how fucking important it is. You know what I mean?
That would mean a lot to Chris, though.
And then,
please.
I hope I get the picture.
Yeah, I think it's their ring
But-
of honor.
this is a thing that Jerry Jones kept saying that was driving me crazy though. So he was like, Jimmy came in today and he went straight to the dressing room, and all the players were so excited to see Jimmy in the dressing room and talking to them in the dressing room. The whole dressing room is going crazy. And I'm like, why can't someone tell him it's a locker room? A fucking dressing room is for a Broadway play.
Yeah.
You're in a locker room.
This guy owns a team for like 30 years or whatever. I don't know how long he's had the goddamn Cowboys, but he doesn't know the difference between a dressing room and a locker room.
Here's the other thing. He's worth like $8 billion, and he's still saying dressing room.
How did he become a billionaire like that?
It's the Cowboys.
All. He made it in all business. Here's the funny thing, too. He's an Okie.
Is he?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he came out of Oklahoma, went down and bought the goddamn Cowboys.
I'm shocked. The people
Okie
of
makes
Texas
good.
should be furious and demanding he sell the team.
They were for a while.
Oh,
and then it was the 90s. Oh, yeah. He came in, he fired Tom Landry was the first thing he did. He fired the legend of fucking Dallas.
What a dirtbag.
Yeah, he turned it around. He got 3 wins, and he's been skating on that ever since.
We have him to thank for Tony Romo in the goddamn booth. If they never would have fucking drafted him, he would have been a backup quarterback somewhere. Scum.
First of all, we got him to thank for everybody who's in a booth right now. You have to be an ex-fucking Cowboy to get in a booth.
It's awful.
In the meantime, fucking Fran Tarkenton, I saw him digging through a fucking trash can. Fran Tarkenton's still alive, isn't he, Earl?
Yes, he is.
Go back and watch some of his things and just see how slow Lyman used to be. He would run around in circles, and Fat Lyman wouldn't be able to catch him.
It was unsettling to see Jason Garrett in the booth, mostly because I don't like looking at his face, and when he smiles, it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, you know, we got rid of one annoying person, brought in another annoying person. At least it wasn't Romo, the fucking speed freak.
He should get drug tested.
I swear to God, the first half I just turned off it, and then as we're getting further in the second half, I got, you know, I have to find out what that penalty is for. You know, it was driving me crazy. I don't fucking speak sign language. I wish they would try to do the thing with him that they do for deaf people with the letterbox at the bottom and see if anybody could keep up with Tony Romo.
No, that closed caption thing will be fucking 15 minutes behind the way he's fucking going a mile a minute.
You know what they would have to do is just have all the letters up and then just lighting them very, very quickly.
Good idea.
Which ones are working. When that game was over, I was exhausted.
Oh, sure.
I laid down in my Sattva RX, you know what I mean? And just tried to rest my stress away. We're going to go to break here. I will let the producing team pick the winner of the Christmas contest, and then I will let them know how disappointed I am in them.
Perfect.
Please do.
Exactly.
I think we're going to pick the right one this time.
You know, I just heard some staggering statistics. Apparently, nearly 65 million Americans have reported recent back pain. And get this, 80% say they've suffered from back pain at least one or more times during this year. That's 8 out of 10 people.
Unless you're one of the lucky 2 that are pain-free, there's something important you should know about the Sattva RX, the first luxury mattress designed for sleepers with chronic back and joint conditions. It's designed to give maximum support and pressure relief.
It helps alleviate discomfort that comes from chronic back and joint conditions like sciatica, arthritis, herniated disc, and scoliosis. Its therapeutic support core adjusts to your body's curves and movements, virtually eliminating pressure points.
All of which results in better circulation and a far more restorative sleep, which is something that 100% of all Americans can benefit from. Right now, save $200 on $1,000 or more at sattva.com/Bennington. That's SAATVA.com/Bennington.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show! Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show!
Christmas Eve again in the trunk tank. An old man said to me, won't see another one. And then he sang a song, the rare old Mountain Dew. I turned my face away and dreamed about you. But I'm the lucky one. Came in 18 to 1. I've got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas. I love your brother. I can see a better time when all our dreams come true. They've got cars, big as bars, they got rivers of gold. But the wind goes right through you, no place for the old. When you first took my hand on a cold Christmas Eve, promised me Broad Street was waiting for me. You were handsome, you were pretty, you're the king of South Philly. When the band finished playing, they howled out for more. The leathers were swinging, all the drunks they were singing. We fought on a corner, then danced through the night. The sound of the Silver Ages choir all singing Galway Bay. And the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. You're a crumb bum. You smell like some old scum washed up from the school and rotting away. You dirtbag, you phony, you lousy jabroni. Happy Christmas, you ass. I pray God it's our last. The sound of the Silver Ages choir still singing Galway Bay. And the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day. I could have been someone, well, so could anyone. You took my dreams from me when Mom first had you. I kept them with me, Jace. I put them with my own. Can't make it all alone. I built my dreams around you. The sound of the Silver Ages choir still singing Galway Bay, and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
Kelsey Brothers, really bringing in the Christmas season. Sometimes the cover is better than the original.
What?
Fairy Tale of Philadelphia. You did it, boys. You did the impossible. You made Philadelphia bigger than New York has ever even dreamed of being.
I can't agree
What?
with that. Can I
No.
bring up one?
No, you're working right now to make sure you guys don't ruin the prize today, okay? If you focused on that, Chris.
For once.
I don't need you commenting on something you don't know anything about, and that's the beautiful sound of the Kelsey Brothers. And I hope and pray that if not this year, the next year, we will have a Kelsey Brothers Christmas special, bringing everybody in.
Mary Kelsmith, it's called.
Holy shit, Gail. Make sure you lock that in, copyright that, all right? We don't need another Hall & Oates situation on this. I'd love to hear the Kelsey Brothers do Fall in Philadelphia. All right. Earl Douglas, you and the kid, Jesse, had a chance to talk this over. Did you run it past Chris Stanley?
Yes, we did. We ran it past.
And are the three of you in agreement?
Earl kept trying to say Fred Claus, and I had to say no. We're not going to give it to Fred Claus.
I didn't see Fred Claus. You thought that was the winner, Earl?
It was a viable contender. Yes. Why not?
Why be angry? Why not just make the fucking point of what was great about Fred Claus? I haven't seen it, but maybe it was the one. So you were the one that nixed that, Chris?
Yes, I did. I've never seen Fred Claus, and I decided.
Yeah, but that's but that's not a reason to say no. I mean, Earl could have painted you a beautiful picture. Now, Jesse? Did you have one that you wanted to win?
I wanted to pick myself because I like trains. But
You like trains, so what is it that you want? A train Christmas?
Polar Express was.
Okay, Polar Express.
I was still gonna go with trains. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Chris said no because he's mean.
I'm not giving Jesse the prize. It's not going to happen.
Well, it's not going to Jesse. It would go to all right. What ended up winning, Chris?
The prize, Gremlin, signed by the voice of Gizmo, Howie Mandel, goes to Steve in Florida for A Christmas Story.
Come on, dude. You're going to fucking pick something that plays for 24 hours straight on TBS
People.
I mean, we got to be outside of the box a little bit, okay? We're
Chris, you're
satellite here.
You're so basic, you know? I mean, do you feel like that was kind of a mid thing to do?
Is it too late to take it away from this fucking conservative vote and give it to Fred Claus?
Please, we can't give it to Fred Claus.
I just found out today that the guy from Billions was in Fred Claus. I had no idea.
Neither did I. Shocking.
At least Die Hard. Something. All right.
Yeah.
Really
Earl, for once, will you stick up for yourself so stuff like this doesn't get on air?
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, Fred Claus was a
Oh, no. It's already happened without
Yeah.
you. You know
he
what I mean?
meant to Chris. Stick up for yourself to Chris.
Not to us.
Yeah.
To us, you let us down.
But to Chris, you need to start standing up for yourself.
Right. For you, Earl, it'd be like, I think breaking an entry is wrong. And even while the person was doing it, I kept telling him to stop.
Do you see Chris as your bully? Is that why, Earl?
He is. He's your bully.
I'm simply a supervisor to Earl.
You're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. My dick is out.
What?
My asshole too. I'm simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Is that about the Disneyland streaker from yesterday?
Yes.
Did you see the video of the streaker?
Not the video. I saw they took it. Was it In a Small World? He had his dick out?
Yeah, so
That's too embarrassing.
He hopped out of the boat in It's a Small World, and then he walked alongside, then he climbed through. And so at that point, he had gotten down to his underwear and then went full Monty after that, and then even walked around outside the ride. And actually, the look of him, you know, like the idea is like, oh, man, that's crazy. Why would someone do that? But when you see the picture and the video of him, he's kind of got a Waco vibe about him. So it's more ominous than you'd like to see. It was a bit scary. But, yeah, and then he did get dragged out of there.
He looks like a white little elf, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's very, yeah.
I mean, that's
glasses,
the
really.
whitest skin I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, people are acting fucking crazy. I was out getting my steps on a Sunday morning.
Mhm.
Guy coming at me, just a cube. Looked like a former booker on our show, right?
Mhm.
And crazy eyeballs. And I'm walking towards him, and I'm all right. As soon as I said, nobody's on the street, okay? Nobody. And as soon as I'm walking towards him, as I'm like, I got to keep an eye on this guy. And then as I got closer, I noticed that he had a club in his hand. So he was carrying around a fucking club really tight in his hand. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to end up fucking rolling on the ground with this fucking fellow. And no one's around to break this up. You know what I mean? Like, this could take a while. And then he looks at me. He screams something in Spanish, which I don't speak. And we kept on walking by each other.
Oh, boy.
But it had a very weird, let's say, Fargo, the new season feel about it.
I'm the first episode into the new season of Fargo, and I feel like I'm back in it very
Can I
quickly.
tell you something? Where do you see two? By two, you'll have the full dialogue. Everything will come around for you.
Right.
We got a lot to worry about on this season of Fargo.
Yeah. I'm very invested already, and I don't know if you know this, but I took a pause from the previous season. It just wasn't jiving.
Good
for
move.
me.
It was the worst.
And I went,
Worst
you know
season
what?
yet.
Rather than, because I know that it's going to be okay. It's not like a regular show where if I don't finish this, I can't pick it back up later. So I did dip out of last season. I'm very excited to be back. And it seems like the vibes have restored.
Yeah, I would agree. Episode 2, I think, is going to put you over the moon. I think you're going to like it a lot and be like, I'm back in Fargo land.
Nice.
And then somebody said to me, they're like, did you notice how many, like, Easter eggs are in? I go, every season has 100
lots
Easter
of
eggs.
Oh, so many.
But more than ever now. I go, no.
Yeah.
Not more than ever. Exactly
Yeah.
the same as ever. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Mm-hmm. Same as it ever was. I will ask this because I was thinking about Bruce Willis. And I'm always thinking about Bruce Willis this Christmas season. But the big four, the action stars of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Harrison Ford. Chris Stanley ranked them.
Oh, God.
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top. Bottom, Harrison Ford. Second, third, Stallone. Second, Bruce. First, Arnold.
Arnold is your guy.
Arnold's my guy for the action star, like, you know.
And this is just a personal ranking.
Personal.
Right? Like your own feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got, Gail?
I'm going to go, my God, Harrison Ford, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Willis.
Notice Harrison Ford doesn't get a lot of love on this show. I don't know whether it's the eternal hate for Blade Runner that has drug him down, but not a lot of love there. Jesse, should I even bother with you? Do you have any idea who these people are?
Have you seen any of their
Yeah. None of them have been in train movies.
Oh, shoot. All right. Let me redo my list
Harrison
here. No, I got at the bottom. Stallone's at the bottom. I don't really care about him. Willis is after that because I feel bad. Schwarzenegger is a bodybuilder, so he's next. And then Indiana Jones and Han Solo is number one. Harrison Ford. He's the only one with any emotional currency to me. So,
emotional currency.
Very
you like
emotional.
Star Wars, and you like the Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Earl Douglas, your call.
Number 4, Stallone. Number 3, Bruce Willis. Number 2, Harrison Ford. And number 1, Arnold.
Okay. Can you believe how much Chris and Earl are like?
You guys are so similar.
Please,
You
Earl,
guys
he
are
even
like
said
the
Arnold
same.
instead of Schwarzenegger for when he announced him as number 1. Earl,
Like you did?
Like I did.
Yeah, and you did the fun accent too.
But why, Earl? Why would you go exactly the same as Chris and then even copy his accent?
Well, I thought Chris put Bruce higher than, Stallone higher than.
About number 1. I said
Number
one
one is
Arnold.
where was that? That's the biggie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not the 3 and 4.
He's kills
okay.
me. He kills Earl. You're such a copycat jerk.
It's weird the way, I mean, if you look at it and based on acting, 3 of them I don't think are good actors.
I agree.
At all.
Agree.
I think Bruce Willis is the only good actor
Yep.
in the bunch, and the only one that I would say actually made a good movie before in his life, not just a spectacle. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'll give Ford Blade Runner, but I wouldn't say it's because of his like electric
No.
performance. It's just
No.
he's a vessel for it, and that
Yeah.
worked.
He's a goddamn skin job.
All right, we're not
That's just
in the
part
movie.
of the movie, Chris. Okay,
We're not in it.
Also, I'll say this right now. I am not a fan of the Indiana Jones movies. I have zero love for them. I
What
never
about
got
this
the-
part? Ba 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 ba.
If this list was scores, that might get higher. But it's
okay.
Why wouldn't you like a grave robber?
I really only like the one that everybody else hates. I only like Temple of Doom. That's the only one I like. And I found out later that people are like, the worst one's Temple of Doom. I'm like, that's the only good one.
Well, it's hard to pick a worse one.
Thank you.
Yeah, but, I don't know. Maybe I was just the right age. But I was like, what's the point of these other ones when you got
But-
Temple of Doom?
I mean, at least with Stallone, we could pick Rocky as a good movie.
Right.
Does Schwarzenegger have a good movie?
Terminator 2.
Come on, stop it. That's fucking a video game. Why do people think that if you're in a video game, it's a good movie?
I'm going to be honest, Chris. I feel like my feelings towards Terminator 2 are similar to mine towards Temple of Doom. Did I enjoy it? Yes. But would I call that like a great film? Probably not. No.
It's just the opposite of a great film. It's one long action sequence. I think Terminator is really smart and a much better film. a much better film.
And I didn't see
But
that
I
until
don't think
years
it's-
later.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
don't
was
think. Like they actually wanted OJ to be the Terminator. It would have been just as good, probably even better after he killed his wife and the waiter.
Oh my God, that's
Not
true.
a lot of range when acting as a cyborg. That's a very good point.
Another skin job is what you're saying.
Literally a skin job.
I sometimes, Chris, I feel like I don't know you and Earl.
All right, Ron, please don't associate me so closely with Earl. Ron,
But you guys have the
please
same
don't.
picks. Why wouldn't we?
Earl's just a copycat. He just loves catting and copying.
Gail, you said you had a question for us about color.
I do. And this was one that I did not know was something that people debate. And I swear when I bring this up, you tell me if I'm crazy. You probably feel confident in your answer.
Okay.
I was going to say, should I have Earl and Chris write theirs down? Because I'm afraid one is going to just copy the other.
Yeah.
I'd like to just see
Everybody.
if they didn't. Yeah, okay. All right. Please write down in one single word the color of a tennis ball. In one single word, please. What color is
Ba, 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 ba. What is the color of a tennis ball? Could Earl go after Chris so he could have a pick?
That's a good
Now-
idea.
Has everybody written theirs down?
Written down.
I'm going to go first, and I'm not thinking about this just if, you would have said, hey, I'm going to the Walmart. What color are tennis balls? I have yellow.
Yellow. Ron has
And it
written
was all yellow.
yellow.
I bought a tennis ball for you, and all the things you do. And it was all yellow.
Chris, tell me what you have written down.
I have green written down.
Green. Okay. There we go.
We didn't-
First.
We didn't
Right
ask
after
you
that.
the color of grass. We asked you the color of a tennis ball.
Tennis balls are green, aren't
Jesse, please reveal your answer that you have written down.
My one-word answer is highlighter.
Oh my God. Highlighter could be any color. There's pink highlighters.
Yeah, but we all know which one is the tennis ball color, and it's
green.
It's
What
highlighter
is it,
color.
Jesse? What do you mean the highlighter color?
The Sharpie when you highlight.
Yes, but there's multiple colors of highlighters.
Oh, okay. The
So
yellow
what
one.
Color is the highlighter.
The yellow
Yellow. I mean.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you get crazier than Earl.
Earl? I swear to God, if he says highlighter, I'm going to go nuts.
I wrote down yellow.
Yellow.
All right, so 3 yellows and a green.
Okay.
Now, let
Now
me just say this. Chris, if it was green, how would they be able to play on the lawn?
Okay. Thank
because
you.
of the white stripes. Like it's like
Now-
not totally green. There's like white in the middle between.
My whole life, I would have assumed everyone said yellow. I thought that this was across the board. Everyone would just go, they're yellow.
Yes.
But I was talking to someone, and they were like, oh, the green ball. And I was like, what green ball? And then they said, the tennis ball. And I go, that's yellow. And they're like, well, tennis balls are green. And I'm like, no, they're yellow. And I didn't even know this was a thing people debate. Now, could we get into semantics? Is it a greenish yellow? Sure. Is it a yellowish green? No, it isn't. I don't think it is. The first and forefront color to me is yellow, and it's like a neon yellow. But some people look at it and perceive it as like a neon green. And I had no idea. I actually had to look up polls to see I thought maybe this person's just crazy. But when I looked it up, it was like something like 60-some% of people said yellow. The rest said green.
You know, now I went and just looked up a tennis ball, right? And I see there's somewhat of a green hue to this yellow.
And I'll give you that.
Quite frankly, I never even noticed before.
And I'll give you that, which is why I specifically said one word answer, because you got to say what would be the main color of it. Because I agree that as far as yellows go, it's a green or yellow, but it's yellow. And other people think the opposite. They go, it's green. Sure, it's a yellow green. I had no idea that we all weren't on the same page about this.
All right, they're now saying about a little more than 2/3 of people see them as yellow, and then the other people have what's known as color blindness.
Oh God! Oh no!
What color is grass to you, Chris? Is that yellow?
No, as far as I can tell, it's green. Unless it's like, unwatered or whatever, then it turns like...
Oh, unwatered or whatever. That inability to believe in yourself. There are actually a lot of people who don't know colors.
Yeah, that's true. And, that's just a strange perception. But I swore I thought this was, an easy... I thought it was as easy as saying what color is grass.
But, Chris, when looking at a stoplight... The caution and go are the same exact color to him.
Green. Thank God I don't have a license.
You ain't even got a license, Lisa.
My girlfriend's pointed out to me before, I don't know the difference between red and brown also. So, I think I have a real color blindness problem.
Well, there are types of... I have trouble between black and navy blue. They both look black. I also, if my phone is on top of my coat, it becomes immediately invisible.
Oh, yeah. I basically need to replace my case with a tennis ball color because I need to be able to see it. No, yellow. Neon yellow or highlighter.
Go green.
Chris doesn't know the difference between red and brown, and that's why he didn't notice that his stools were bloody.
Oh, no.
Just another normal morning.
Matt in Maryland.
$1,000,000, guys. I worked on HGTV for more years than I want to admit. But the color is called chartreuse. It exists.
Chartreuse, which,
Let's
by
take
the
a
way,
look at the color chartreuse.
I've always thought this about the term chartreuse. If you didn't know what it was, to me, chartreuse sounds like a pinky, a purple. It's strange. Something about the way it sounds to my ear does not sound like it should be the color of a tennis ball. That's greener to me than a tennis ball looks.
That's fucking green, dude.
I'm putting up a picture of a tennis ball next to that, and I'm seeing much more yellow in the tennis ball than I'm seeing with that.
All right. I see another color palette here, and there's a chartreuse green and a chartreuse yellow.
Okay, that's really annoying.
That's very
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Now, a friend of mine, his school colors, is a friend of mine, and when I was in a carnival, and he was from Texas, and then his colors were gray and chartreuse, and I remember that because he told me their cheer, "Come on, gray, come on, chartreuse, come on, high school, we's for use," and that was their school cheer.
That's incredible.
That's a cool
They
cheer.
use bad English. This is shocking to me that 1/3 of all people are stupid. And let's be honest about this. Stupider than Earl.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Earl,
Even
thank
Earl.
you for copying me instead of Chris this time.
Mm-hmm.
He switches it up just to make me look bad every single damn time.
You do look bad, too.
I look terrible right now. I feel bad about
The
myself.
color of your face is chartreuse.
What? That's sickly.
Chris.
Do I have jaundice?
Do you know the school colors of your alma mater SUNY Purchase?
It's purple and white.
It is heliotrope and puce because the students were allowed to vote on it, so they picked some very gay colors. And then the school was like, well, we're not going to have our sports team wear that, so they'll just wear red and blue or something. But they wouldn't make the actual uniforms this pinky, soft pink and bright purple.
I like pink in a uniform.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Miami soccer team wears pink, and everybody got upset about it. I'm like, it's Don Johnson time, bro.
It's cool.
Let's get past the pink as something to be ashamed
I agree.
of.
We need an NFL team that embraces pink for sure.
How'd you like the Kelly Green that the Eagles wore?
I really enjoy the Kelly
That
Green.
was the uniform of my youth. So it's like weirdly nostalgic when looking at a helmet. Isn't that odd?
That is strange.
You're like,
but
oh, God.
I do like the Eagles in the Kelly Green. I just enjoy it.
I always thought it was weird that the Eagles had green, with the American Eagle and Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
But Boston had already taken the red, white, and blue, and so did the Giants.
I always feel like red, white, and blue as your team's colors. Just lazy. Just feels
What about
like...
for the Olympic team? I mean, I
Okay,
feel like
that
that's
makes
great.
sense. Yeah, for them, sure. Yeah, they can do that.
Red, white, and blue, your lazy colors.
It's just so non-thinking,
No.
It's like Chris's mid-picks,
Come on.
Remember
why
when
bring that
Chris
back up?
picked the same thing that runs constantly on TBS for a full week?
I have
We
changed.
could have had fucking Fred Claus.
I
It'd be
actually
the
think
cool
Fred
fucking
Claus was
show.
a better answer.
Really?
And that's a movie I vowed never to see.
That's a problem then.
More than ever.
What?
I would say this when it comes to colors, all right? In professional teams, I think that if you leave behind the colors and you leave the name.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because I was about to agree with you because I have this issue that the Brooklyn Nets wearing black, love to see it. They look great. I always think that their vibe is great. But when they do their throwback to red, white, and blue jersey days, it's like, no, that time is over. It's done with, and it feels like a jinx every time I see them.
Well, this is an interesting thing. I remember when the New Jersey Jets left New Jersey to go to Brooklyn, right? And big old Chris Christie was like, who gives a shit that you're gone? I'll have another team in here in no time. Well, it's almost 20 years now. There's still no fucking team.
Nope.
No team's going back to Jersey. Jersey doesn't want a basketball team, okay? Jersey just wants its Giants, and as you get further south, they're Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. The Tennessee Titans, they put on throwback jerseys, which were the old Houston Oilers fucking logo and jersey. That doesn't fucking belong to you, dude. That belongs to the city of Houston. That's their history.
That feels like stone.
It is?
It's disgusting. It's a slap in the face to Houston. They should be furious.
Wake me up with your singing, set me on the edge with your song. We could lie and love forever. Oh, we could lie and love together. We could lie and love forever. Oh, we could lie and love together. Someone who brings me around and then lets me know how it feels to love somebody, how it feels to be loved. So I learned to live with